Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. What am I doing here? Well, just looking at some masterful artworks. Do I not know what? The new kits are out? Sure. You want to see them right now? Fine. I guess it is that time of the month again, where me and you are going to check out the newest additions to the Alchemy Stars roster, aka whatever Tourdog throws at us, so let's do exactly that, so we can kind of tell if these are worth rolling for or not. And this time around we have this 6-star Thunder unit Amemori and this 6-star Forest unit Yao. And on today's video I'm only going to cover Amemori because there's so much to talk about. But before we actually get into the characters the Amulet of Scarlet 2 Electric Boogaloo event brings to us, I do have to tell you to be there on Thursday. I'm once again gonna stream my live pulls and also gonna do a quick live analysis and some playtesting and just having some fun with you guys on stream. So be there, link in the description and in the comments, so make sure to click that reminder and don't miss out. And with that out of the way, I think we can just move on with the 6-star Thunder unit, the Naruto Shippuden collab character Amemori. And yes, she is a converter, but in this case Tourdog means the converter they use for fire, aka a fire teleporter or thunder teleporter in this case. But there's something really big staring at me, and that is her attack stat. That is actually crazy high. It's the highest converter attack stat in the game and in general up there. And that's not all. Now, when we look at her active, there is something missing, and that's her cooldown. You just use points, and these points are called ninja power. And by using 2 of those, you can summon a katana to any traversable tile on the field. If the tile you have chosen already has a katana on it, then you just instantly teleport to it, retrieve the katana, and get a refund of 1 ninja power point. We will get to what retrieving means later on, but before we talk more about her options and how this really works, let's talk about these ninja power points. How do you actually get these? And there's 3 ways. Number 1 is basically just what is mentioned in the active, aka the refund when you teleport to a katana. Number 2 is mentioned in her chain, which is weird but fine. It's basically a passive gain of 1 per round and 1 per wave, which is just your passive income of ninja power. The third way is a bit more straightforward. It's just the captain change mechanic we had with Ren and Kayano, sure. So whenever Amemori is promoted to captain, aka switched to captain, you get 1 ninja power point, which basically means with the cost of placing 1 katana down being 2, this will cost you 4 points to basically have a global TP. And if you leave number 3 and number 1 out of the equation, this will basically cost you 4 turns. So in theory, when ignoring most of her EQ, this is basically a 4-turn global TP. But that's not really it, because there's actually some other ways to place katanas down, and that's her chain. On her 8 and 13 chain, you can spawn an RNG katana on the field. Her 13 chain does this twice, so 2 random katanas on the field. So this is definitely another puzzle piece that makes the whole picture a bit more clear. Because you are not supposed to use this like an usual global TP skill, but you are supposed to also TP to these random katanas all over the field. So you use your chain, generate RNG katanas on the field, then you use your active teleport to these katanas, and then you get the refund of 1 point. But before I actually give you an example of how I think she would work in actual gameplay, we do have to kind of look at the equipment first, because there's still some things left we need to know. And that is that using your active to TP causes all katanas to be retrieved. And in this case, retrieving actually means to deal 150% death ignoring damage to the nearest enemy. In this case, I'm pretty sure nearest enemy applies to the position of the katana, not your character. Because that's kinda important, as there is a damage reduction based on the distance between the katana and the enemy. But most of the time you don't really care about this damage. It is pretty nice, you can maybe make some really interesting burst turns, and especially against single tile enemies, she could be like an hidden expert. We will see, that is something we definitely have to test out. But there is another thing, and that is because when you retrieve 4 katanas, you summon 1 new one. And that is not that important unless we use Florine. Because if we use Florine with her last chain, we spawn 2 random katanas on the map times 2, aka 4, which means our next TP will retrieve all katanas on the field, which will equal 4, resulting in 1 new one being summoned. And that's the only case where this actually matters. And of course, the last part of this equip is the Captain Change point system, where when you switch her to Captain, you gain 1 ninja power point. You can actually trigger this 3 times per round, which is not possible right now because we only have 3 Captain Changes, and no other Thunder character that could change her away from Captain position or to the Captain position, so that doesn't matter right now. So let me give you now an example of how she could work. Let's say on turn 1 you use your chain to get 1 RNG katana on the map. On turn 2 you now have 2 points and switch her to captain position so that you gain 1 more. You use 2 of those to use her active on the previously RNG spawned katana to teleport to it and refund 1 point and get some damage in there. Now you have 2 points left, so you now have the decision to plant 1 katana on the field that you want to teleport to in the future, or you just use your chain to plant another RNG one in there and then just let it be and go to turn 3. In turn 3 we now have 3 points. We once again use 2 of those to teleport to the RNG katana we planted with our chain in the last turn. Now we have 1 point left over, we gain 1 point from the refund, we get some damage in there and basically leave on 2 points. Now we can either decide to use those once again to just plant another katana where we want to teleport to in the future, or we just use the chain again, plant an RNG one that we teleport to in the next turn. So you kind of loop all these RNG teleports, and that's the point. All of these teleports are basically RNG and generated by her chain, and that's the biggest problem. If you want to use this as a global teleport, you can only do so by using 4 points, aka by basically using up all your captain changes, which results in 2 additional points, so you can basically on turn 2 use this as a global teleport. Or you just do what I described earlier to kind of have unlimited TP works all over the map, but you can't sadly control those. So unless we get another Captain Change mechanic character for Thunder that can generate more ninja power points for her by switching her back and to the captain position consistently 3 times per turn, you won't really use this as a global TP, or at least only once, and then switch back to this ninja playstyle of teleporting all over the map to just ninja style teleport behind your enemies. So in conclusion, Amemori is pretty cool. She's basically Thunder when the 6-star edition. She has a very interesting gameplay style of having all these random teleports you can use. You get some damage in passively through the retrieving katanas, and being able to use your skills so often also gives her some inherent synergy with Tessa. So that might also be something very fun to test out. Overall, she does have Florine synergy. You can TP every other round, but considering that this is MBT, one of her BT3s might disrupt that plan. But thankfully we already know, based on Rin and Kayano, that her MBT is the +1 captain change, but her BT3 is definitely a problem. This could either be the refund of the ninja power points, which would be crucial and would basically make her unusable without her BT3, or in best case scenario, it's just a bonus sword that you summon when you retrieve 4 katanas. In that case it would be kind of fine. Overall I would say she's at least strongish. I do definitely have to test her out, so I wouldn't roll on day 1 for her. She's a very intricate character that needs to be explored and tested out with different kinds of team compositions. And well, we already spent so much time on Amemori, so I will end it here for now and cover Yao in another video that will come pretty soon. So thank you for hanging out. Remember to join the live stream on Thursday, and a huge thanks to all of my channel members, and of course an extra huge thank you to the 2 VIPs of the channel, the Grand Warlock and Megumin. That was all from me. Have a nice day and see you pretty soon.